Okay, now we're going to bring in the bearer. So drag it into the model. It's conveniently already facing the right direction, so hit OK. And with this joint, we're going to choose, move this out, this ring on this face at the center. And we'll choose the center point of this rod. So the pin, make sure you got it facing the correct direction, you've not got the bottom or the top one selected. So now let's put that side of the bearing in the center of the rod. So we need to bump it across 2 millimeters. And this will be a revolute joint, which is spinning the correct way. You'll notice if it's not spinning the correct way, if it's spinning something like this, just make sure you turn it back onto Z-axis. Okay, now we will turn on the base. So back in the bodies, we'll turn the base on, and then from here we can use assemble, joint. I'll choose the very end of this rod, and it is going to be uncooperative. If I choose this face first, and then choose this central point here. Now we want this joint not to be revolute, we want it to be a slider. And this is where we may have to change the type of direction. So it's not Z, and it's going to be it's not a Y, so it's going to be an X axis. Cool. And we can set a minimum and a maximum for this. So our minimum will be 0, which is where it currently is. And our maximum, click and drag, and 0.5. So you can arrow key or the play key to see the limits. Now, as I said before, it's almost never going to travel this entire distance. You do have some options around changing the profile of the V-groove that is there, but that's the maximum minimum limits now. So when you can click on that and drag it up and down, and it will sort of move around inside that V. Now to check all this works, we will need to create a thing called, I'll just revert the position. Under Assemble, we'll need to turn on Enable Contact Sets. And up the top of your browser, there'll be one there called Contact Sets. And if you right click on that, you'll create a new contact set. And the contact set we're going to create is between the bearing and the slider. Okay, so before we can test this, we've got one last motion joint we'll need to add, and that will be between the slider and the base. So assemble, done it enough times. So I'm just going to choose the center of the slider. And the center of this slot. We'll push it slightly further forwards and put the wrong kind of motion on it. So just drag it back. It will also have a slider, but we're going to choose the Y-axis. And I'm not going to set limits on this one. Just hit OK. Okay, so from here we should now be able to push that all the way down and push it all the way up, and nothing should move. And if I push this all the way down and I move the handle, it should push the bearing up. And if I grab the bearing and pull it down, it should pull the slider back to center again. So give that a test and make sure that the entire thing works. This moves all the way, the bearing moves all the way to the end. And that when you pull the bearing back down again, which is what the rubber band will be doing, it returns it back to center again. That all looks like it's functioning well.